Hey, everyone. Welcome to EthStaker Community Call 63. This is Jonathan, and I'm here with EthStaker, and we have a bunch of the team from Rocketpool and the Rocketpool community here. Because, why? Because we're going to watch the Saturn 1 upgrade go through. So we're pretty excited to see that happen. And we've got a whole bunch of actually folks joined here. So, and I see a number of people listening on the YouTube stream as well. So that's great. We're gonna basically do the upgrade in the middle. So we'll kind of hear about what's going on with Saturn 1, what's the story of the whole Saturn series, and then also see it go through at the midway point, which is exactly midnight UTC. And then we'll observe what else there is, do some fun raffles and POAPs and things like that and answer Q&A. So like send Q&A in the YouTube or anywhere else, and we'll be looking out for those. Um, why don't I let you guys introduce Mav if you want to get started introducing like what this is all about, and anyone else can chime in. But we just want to understand what Saturn is. I'm sure people listening already have some idea, but it's obviously been a few years in the making to get to this point. So I know there's a lot of excitement.
Yeah, you're not wrong. A few years to get here, and Rocket Pool's biggest ever upgrade. It's apart from the original launch back in 2021. This is the kind of biggest change to the protocol, and it brings a whole lot of benefits. So whether you're a node operator or a liquid staker, or you're staking RPL, there's something involved for you. If this is one of the first times you've heard about the Saturn upgrade, the best way to get up to speed, there is a lot of information. Some of it can be pretty technical. So if we head along to the Rocket Pool Medium page, that is a great resource there. Just on the homepage, you can read through, get up to speed, and a whole lot of community members have also created content around this upgrade. There's a few different pieces of content out there, interviews, videos, obviously the Rocket Pool Twitter account, and our friend, the Rocket Pool intern. They've collated all the things that you need to know. And of course, most of the community will be hanging out in the trading channel in the Rocket Pool Discord. So if you want to go and chat other than obviously on the YouTube stream chat itself, that's where you'll find not just community members, but a whole lot of DAO contributors who have put in a whole lot of time and effort in terms of research and helping to check and verify this big upgrade. So, yeah, exciting times for Rocket Pool. And we've got a whole lot of team members here who have also contributed on the engineering side, helping to plan and sort out audits. A lot of moving parts when it comes to an upgrade this big, and it's exciting to finally launch it. I'm calling in from ETH Denver, and it's a pretty good time to be launching a big upgrade that not only affects Rocket Pool but Ethereum as a whole. Good news, it seems to be pretty busy here actually. I was at a side event today, and it was full to overflowing, and other people I know who are here at other events have also reported that there's strong attendance. So despite what might be going on in the markets, it does seem that the wider Ethereum community is certainly alive and well.
Awesome. Yeah, I would also mention I like the Saturn.rocketpool.net site you guys did. I was doing some, homework before this, and all those kind of visuals and explainers there help illustrate just what is changing, because sometimes protocol changes can be like confusing until you see it in the way that makes sense to you. So I would point that out as well as a good one to go check out. Um, cool. So we're just about like 24 minutes away from when up the update is going live, and I, I guess from the standpoint of what we should expect and what's going to be changing immediately, I guess if there's anything that the team that you guys would want to overview in more detail about specifically what's changing, I think that people would be interested in hearing that. And specifically like immediately. I'm curious, like things that people would want to be looking out for immediately after the upgrade goes live. But also just broadly, like strategically, what does it mean? Like, what are the things that are changing? Let's see. I think. Langers, I think that you might be muted in some way.
I saw him come off mute, but yeah, can't hear him either.
How about now?
Yes, coming through.
Yeah, sorry. Zoom doesn't like my microphone. Um, so so Saturn, as we said, is a massive release. There's not really any part of the protocol that hasn't really been touched by Saturn. Um, the little bit of the background on where it came from. So it's actually a very big kind of like co-development process between the core team and the DAO over kind of years basically. There was a big push to review the RPL tokenomics and also kind of make the protocol more capital efficient, mainly because to make sure that we can scale. So we had kind of had a bit of a ceiling because we're a decentralized protocol. We actually rely on our node operators to deposit, a bond that is fantastic for securing our ETH, but it does provide a bit of a ceiling on our growth. So the idea with SAN is to actually scale us beyond where we are today. So um, so it reducing the bond requirement seems like a bit of a simple thing to do, but it's actually really not. There's to make the protocol safe and efficient. There were a few other bits and pieces that we needed to deliver to be able to do that. One of those things was these things called megapools. So the top line, I should say, the top line kind of deliverables for Saturn are reducing the bond requirement from 8 ETH to 4 ETH. There is a RPL fee switch, which is essentially RPL staking node operators get a share of the revenue that the protocol makes. So it's a share of the commission and the RETH holders pay. There is a change to the way that commissions are actually managed. So currently we have very limited ability to change our commission, which again is a bit of a holding us back sort of thing. So with Saturn, it means that the governance process can actually change those commissions and adjust to the market and adapt and be dynamic. So that's an important element as well. And I'm trying to think, I'm pretty sure there's another one. But yeah, they're kind of like the main things. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of other changes that make node operators' lives easy. Sorry, the other big part for RETH holders is prioritization on withdrawal liquidity. So currently, as people deposit into Rocketpool, it goes into growing the protocol. But if there's withdrawal demand, then that's obviously a bit of friction. So the idea is that deposits will actually feed the withdrawal liquidity as well. So that way, we're always prioritizing withdrawal liquidity, and so that we give greater guarantees to RETH holders. That kind of package that we're delivering strategically, really what it does is it really makes Rocketpool not bound anymore. We can scale and embrace the future of Ethereum being the future of finance. It means that we can bring on very large depositors, much more conservative depositors as well, kind of the institutional types. We've been in conversations with those guys and making sure that we can kind of align with those as well. But obviously, keeping our decentralization, keeping the alignment to Ethereum's core values, and making sure that we are still aligning with Ethereum's core values, but being able to expand and grow to a much greater degree. The other thing is around the RPL token. It gives a much better platform for the RPL token and our future kind of sustainability as well.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I think we were talking before this started that, it was not too long ago that we did the Saturn Zero. I mean, October 2024, right? That was when the Saturn Zero launch happened, and here we are now at Saturn One. So, um, yeah, time flies, and I guess I remember when we were doing the Saturn Zero watch event, there was kind of things that were happening right after, like um, different I don't know, there was things in like the Rocketpool Discord that people were starting to do like on the protocol right away. And I'm wondering if there's things like that that we could be watching as soon as midnight UTC happens here. And I know like you guys will also be joining, you'll also be monitoring things and jumping in and out on your end too to just kind of be managing through that. But I'm just curious if there's things you would point us to that would be worth checking out.
I think one of the biggest things, Jonathan, is something the team spent about an hour working yesterday, which was the ASCII art, which node operators are going to see. So,
Yeah. Yes.
our priorities are obviously entirely in order there. So yeah, if you download the latest release that we put out this morning, that Fortnite's put out this morning, you will get some fancy ASCII art. We spent about an hour on this yesterday. Other than that, we're going to see some fireworks around the deposit pool, things like that. Hopefully, it'll get drained pretty quickly. We turned off deposits a while ago now. I think it was back in November-ish. But yeah, that was in anticipation of this upgrade. So obviously, anyone exiting and coming back in can get their new shiny mega pool kind of validators up and running. So yeah, I think you'll see a lot of action around the deposit pool mostly, and also the ASCII out, which is a personal favorite of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, are we going to be able to show that? Is someone going to share their screen when we're updating so that we can observe, or maybe everyone's just watching their own computer because everyone listening is a node operator, right? There probably are many out there. I think that um, that'll be fun. So let's see.
I think in the Discord, like we'll try to put some visuals through as we go to kind of like show different things that are happening. But one of the big things is actually in the Discord, there's the events channel. You can already see people setting themselves up for launch. There's a few people depositing ETH into their nodes and that sort of thing. So the events channel is basically where you'll see the protocol activity, and Halulu's been working on that in the background to make sure that that's all lined up with Saturn. So yeah, that's a big part. And then obviously the banter in trading.
Yes. Which I find I have to stop looking at whenever I'm on these streams because they always make me laugh, all those comments happening in the trading chat. Um, but that's good. That's always good fun there. Okay. So is there any other like overview of what we have? I know we're like 15 minutes away from the upgrade going through. Any other like comments about or questions? I'm just gonna check if we have any questions here in the chats. Um, Lots of things about mic quality. So I think the worse mic quality that you have, the more OG you are, is the sentiment. Um, so let's see. Do. Um, there was mention. So I was listening to Wax podcast earlier today, and he mentioned something about that he had a raffle going. I don't know what's going on there. If people have um info on that. But there's also going to be a POAP. I've seen some questions. We will have that towards the end for people, and so we'll share the info there. Um, we could do that. I mean, for the people here, Hanny, we could do that anytime. So if we wanted to share the POAP in the middle, we could. We could kind of do it as a surprise. What do you think? Let's do it. How about we share the POAP? Let's do a surprise early POAP. Um, if it's showing, I can talk you guys through how to get it, and it probably won't be too surprising. There it is. Um, so the POAP is going to use the airship capability. We've got like a nice little orange Saturn on that, Saturn logo. So the idea here is to send a pretty small amount of ETH, 0.001 ETH to the POAP.ethstaker.eth address, and then you get the POAP. I would also call out that because we had a community call earlier today that was around go to headliners, you're also going to get that POAP as well. So what I would ask is that you also go listen to that community call so that you can be participating in the Ethereum overall, governance process and learning about what's coming on the network. But you will get, just so you're not confused and everything's working right, this is a 2-for-1. You're going to actually get 2 POAPs. And the primary one though being the Rocketpool one that you're getting right now. So that's cool. And you can send that on any of the networks listed, Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, Mainnet, and it'll work. So I'm seeing that we are, looking like 12 minutes out from the update happening. And I know people will have to jump at different times. One question I had is, I know at different times, the smart node software, like this is just kind of a little operational question I had, but from what I could tell, it doesn't need to be updated for this. Am I wrong or am I right on that it doesn't need to be updated for this update? Is that, and Darcy, I think.
But Fornex can probably give us a conclusive. I think if you've got an older version, it'll probably still work, but it's best to be on 1.19.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Are there any other? I'm just going to check our chat here for any questions. Only the quality programming. Thank you, Fizz. So hopefully, let's see, people are ready to go here with so maybe on the smart node stack, if there's any like interesting updates that have happened with it, like Fornex, I don't know if I know you're kind of, whenever I see those updates come through from GitHub, it's like coming from Fornex. So I don't know if there's anything you would call out about like new capabilities in the stack or things that people might want to be aware of. I know it's not like germane to the Saturn upgrades, but those are new things coming through the software updates. I don't know if there's anything you would call out with
before Fornex jumps in.
Yeah.
Ken and I are just going to duck off to do the release.
Cool. All right, good luck.
And then we'll probably be back, and I'll feed through some stuff anyway to the team so that they can give you some visuals.
Perfect. Thanks.
Hey, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So about the smart nodes, it's not like an Ethereum fork where if you didn't update in time, you would be at the wrong fork. It is okay for people that didn't update, and if they have mini pools running, they're going to keep running without any issues. They only need to upgrade to 1.19.2. No, that's the latest. Whenever they want to interact with the new features of the protocol, creating megapools, staking RPL, or any of the other new features. But basically, it's not necessary at this point.
Sorry, I just realized I was muted there, but there's a couple questions from the YouTube that I'll just relay here. One from Steve, like, what would be the best docs if you've got 4 ETH and want to start a mega pool right now with Saturn 1? Where would someone go on the site or in the community?
The easiest one, I think, Jonathan, would be just docs.rocketpool.net. We've got an absolute treasure trove of docs, for the smart node, for the protocol. Basically goes over everything. So, I would recommend starting there. Secondly, just general GitHub, if you're more technically inclined and you want to see how things work under the hood. The website also has a lot of information on it too. Not just around how you can kind of use that 4 ETH and so forth, but that we have Saturn docs. The Saturn website, saturn.rocketpool.net, which is community driven by Slithy and a few other really good people from the community. There's plenty of information around. Those would be my top 3 to kind of start at, but definitely docs.rocketpool.net if you're new to Rocketpool.
Okay. Another question here was, who is pushing the button to deploy this? I mean, I think that might have been Langers who just jumped off, right?
No, that would be Kane.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, Kane.
Kane always ends up getting the short straw in this situation because he's the one that works on the smart contracts. And I mean, yeah, I don't envy his position. It is always an extremely nervous thing. I think you'll see a bit of sweat on all the Rocketpool team members here now and in a few minutes' time. He will be the one pushing the button though, and Langers will be doing the current checks right now, which we generally do on the testnets quite a bit. And we do ones before, obviously before pre-launch, which is what's happening now for the mainnet launch. And yeah, there'll be some checks run straight after as well.
Okay. And I know, I think Langers is saying there's some like things he might send through after or just come back on. We'll see. But like, if there's any visuals, like a dashboard that we can pull up, we can certainly share the screen. So Hanny's ready to support us doing that. With
I
anything.
think Langs would be able to share his screen. Again, if you want to see some fantastic ASCII art, that will be available pretty soon. You do need the latest node operator stack for that, but yeah, we'll have a few things to yeah show you guys shortly.
Okay. One question I'm seeing here that this may just be like something where it's maybe opinionated answers more than factual. I mean, let me know what you guys think, but thoughts on the 67-day entry queue? I mean, right now, that's just the overall Ethereum entry queue. It's relatively long. And you know, if you're going to be exiting pools and doing that, like how should that be considered? Especially as, if you want to be re-entering at some point, then you've got that 67-day queue to deal with. Obviously, it's a fact of life for anybody entering and exiting, so it's just something to weigh, no matter what method you're doing it in, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jonathan. Everyone's in the same boat with this regard. I mean, it was the complete opposite a few months ago when yeah, we had an exit queue that was absolutely massive. Now it's completely flipped. A lot of the DApps kind of driving this. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. Everyone's going to be in the same boat, so there's nothing we can really do to kind of circumvent that, unfortunately. But hey, it's better than an exit queue miles long, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here.
I think we could quickly go over the raffle results. We still have a few minutes before launch. So the Rocketpool community has had a POAP campaign running in support of Saturn 1 over the past few weeks. If you're in trading, you've probably seen this already. You might have to scroll up a little bit, but Shifrin has just run the raffle, and we've got some winners announced. There's a link if you want to go through and have a look yourself for the draw. The link is again in trading. Just scroll up a little bit, and we'll include it in a Discord announcement as well in a bit. The URL is poap.now/draw/14003, and then we've got some lucky recipients, some ENSs from community members that I recognize there, and a couple of other wallets. So congratulations to everyone who received part of that raffle. The RPL has been donated from the RPL benefactor in the community, mysterious figure who likes to pop in every now and again and give away some prizes like this, and also some community members as well. So it was great to see everyone chipping in and earning those POAPs and helping to get the news out about Saturn 1. Also, it looks like just see from our team chat, Kane's provided a quick update that the transaction to launch Saturn 1 is loaded and ready to go. So we're just waiting the final, I guess, couple minutes before launch time.
Great. And I'm sending that POAP now draw URL so we can post that on YouTube for people to see what you're referring to there.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. Hanny, hopefully that works because I'm only able to see the YouTube on my phone. Otherwise, it kills my computer. Okay, cool. So that's exciting. And I saw there was over 125 entrants in that raffle. So, and we have like almost that many on the stream right now, which is pretty awesome. Lots of participation here, which is great.
Yeah,
Let's
good
see.
turnout.
Yeah. All right. So just going back here, I'm looking at it looks like we're maybe only 2 minutes away from when the update is going through. So people are probably anticipating that any moment now. And I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. Um, Here's a question from Edward. So maybe this is something that we can discuss after the update too, because it looks like kind of a question I might have, like a thoughtful question with a thoughtful answer. But the question is, what changes are being made beyond the better capital deployment in 4 ETH mini pools to better compete with things like Lido CSM? Everything is so competitive. Um, so that's, I think, an interesting question. It's kind of like Rocketpool's place in the marketplace and how that positions it going forward, in terms of options people have for staking. Because yeah, there are lots of staking pool options out there, and every it's like comparing and contrasting and how is it evolving. It's quite a lot changing all the time, right? So we could maybe, I mean, let's see, we have a few seconds now before we're like 90 seconds
I
out
can
from midnight, but we can start with an answer there if you want.
I can give a quick high level response, and then maybe we can go into a bit more detail later on. The plan for the next upgrade, Saturn 2, is to introduce the option for a bonding curve. So if a node operator has multiple validators under one mega pool, the subsequent validators will be able to go down to a much lower bonded ETH amount. So back in the day, Rocketpool launched with 16 ETH validators, then down to 8, now down to 4, and it's likely to go as low as 1.5. I guess the thing to remember with Rocketpool is even today, Rocketpool is still only the only fully permissionless liquid staking protocol. So everyone else at least has a portion, if not all, of the protocol run by a small number of permission whitelisted operators. Rocketpool has always tried to be as decentralized as possible. So building out that technology is always a little bit more difficult when you're trying to prioritize decentralization versus just sending some ETH through to AWS, which is essentially what most of the large staking operators, providers, and even so-called decentralized protocols do even today. So there's definitely more work to be done, but there's already a lot of that work that's been done in terms of research and potential options. So as soon as Saturn 1 launches, everyone's going to be getting right into Saturn 2. And I'll stop right there because I see we've just come to the top of the hour. So
Transaction
maybe
is
it just
away.
happened.
starting to happen.
It may have just
It
happened.
just sent.
Go ahead, Darius. Yeah, I think that top of the hour just hit, so it seems like that has gone through, and I guess I'm looking for some kind of indication that that is the case. The trading channel is quite active, so um, let's see.
We've got the transaction hash for the upgrade shared in trading, which is also in the events channel. So that's also probably a good idea to look. You'll see events come through as various node operators take certain actions.
All right. Well, we'll keep monitoring what's going on there. I like the chat somebody had thinking if you're coming from Reddit thinking you're watching a Saturn launch, you are mistaken. This is not that. You're not seeing a real satellite go to Saturn, but you are seeing Rocketpool Saturn launch, Saturn 1. So um, maybe even more exciting.
So I've got a website that Steely shared with me that is giving us a dashboard
Oh
of
yeah.
the queue. So the link is saturn-1.net. Let me just share my screen so you guys can see it.
Yes, please.
And Steely, of course, is a member of the GMC and a longtime member of the Rocketpool community. Can you guys see that on your screen? So you can
Let me just looks like we are seeing it, yeah. And it's coming through on the stream.
wait, hold on a second. Sorry about that.
Just minimize the YouTube stream, I
Yeah.
think, and then it should be good.
Okay, is that there now?
Yes, looks great.
Excellent. Okay, so here we've got a link. It says that there's mega pools, 24 of them already being created. There's staking validators, 141 of them. And there's 113 validators in the standard queue, 94 in the express queue, and the mega pool queue total is 207. So you're seeing here that there's a lot coming through with the express queues and some with the standard queues as well. And yeah, like it's go, go, go here basically. So there's a lot of transactions that are coming through with the mega pools right now. So this is really awesome stuff. Really great stuff by Steely here.
Cool. And we've just sent that in the YouTube chat as well. Some people were asking for that.
Yeah, it's Saturn-1.net.
Cool. And I see it in Rocketpool Trading too, so people can find the link there too. Cool. That's exciting. Okay, and I see Langer's also posted the Rocketpool upgrade ASCII art on the trading channel, so that's a good sign. Cool. Okay, so we are 5 minutes past the UTC midnight UTC upgrade point. Looking like things worked, but I'm not the expert, so you guys tell me how you're feeling and how it's looking. Um, but so
Yeah,
far,
so
oh, and you're
I've
back.
just
Okay,
completed all the I just
yeah,
completed all the post checks. Everything's good. So I can probably show you what we're doing, but um, essentially we just confirmed that the protocol version incremented. So essentially that the upgrade contract ran through and completed. And I can probably show you. Maybe I can show you. There's not much to it, but
yeah. Whack was just showing us the Saturn-1.net website. So if there's anything else you want to share, we can make sure the screen comes on the screen or this live stream for you.
so we've got. I think can you see that in terms of the light? Anyway, so this is just making sure that the protocol version incremented. That actually says, I shouldn't say Saturn. We'll do it in a minute. 1.4 is Saturn 1.4.0. Previously, it was Houston hotfix. We checked through to make sure that all of the settings that should be the default values and the changes have been made. So that's these ones here. And then we've gone through and just made sure that all of the contracts have been upgraded. So there are a bunch of new contracts that have been created and ones that have changed. So this is just making sure that the all of those changes have been applied to the protocol. So that's kind of like the initial verification step. There's obviously the step of making sure everything works and monitoring support. We've got our own kind of dashboard similar to the one that was shared in trading as well, that monitors the Megapool queue, Megapool events, deposit information, rewards, withdrawals, and that sort of thing. So we'll be keeping an eye on that over the next, well, weeks, basically. But yeah, so far so good. Everything in terms of the upgrade has gone really well. But yeah, we just need to see how the different clients react, the smart node and all that sort of thing. Make sure that everyone is comfortable. So yeah, we'll be in support a little bit to make sure that we give people a bit of hypercare as we transition into this. And I'm sure there are people. I haven't checked events yet, but I am sure that somebody's deposited already.
Would we
Oh
see
no!
that in the events channel?
Oh, there's a failure in event processing, so I'm pretty sure Hululu's frantically fixing things in the background.
Okay. Okay, a number of questions coming in here. So yeah, Edward had a couple questions about 1.5 mini pools, and that's sounds awesome. But then the question becomes, what are we doing to make minting our ETH more attractive so that we can spin up a ton of mini pools? And where does, maybe a follow on there is like, where does this improved RETH stack up versus STETH? Again, some big, like, sort of strategic kind of like questions, I guess, in that way. But does that question
Yeah,
make
I
sense?
mean,
I
we
kind of
can,
rambled there.
yeah, we can kind of address that. So one of the issues that has held us back is scale, and that is something that Saturn definitely improves on. The other thing, in terms of RETH, as I said before, was the withdrawal liquidity. So that's a big improvement. It's kind of like a small but very powerful improvement in terms of making sure that we're prioritizing withdrawal liquidity. And so that's really important for maintaining the peg of RETH, and also just making sure that RETH holders have that a greater guarantee in which to withdraw. So they're big things, and those two things alone mean that it opens Rocketpool up to a new market, which is kind of the institutional crowd as well. I mean, obviously, our home is also the native crypto crowd, but we also want to build for the future where there's a lot more different types of people who will be staking their ETH, and so that's with this extra scale and improvements in withdrawal liquidity. They're two things that will help us with that. The other part is the UARS, which is the universal. I can't remember that off the top of my head now. But basically, it's being able. Mav's going to tell me.
Sorry,
The universal adjustable revenue split. That's it. So basically, it is protocol governance being able to tweak the commissions, and that has definitely held us back in the past, because we have very, very limited ability to change the commission or adjust to market conditions. And so a big part of that is, with this in place, it means that we can adjust and adapt to market conditions, adapt to be much more competitive, and adjust to the competitive landscape. Those three things already set Rocketpool on a really great course. The things that Saturn also does is it lays a bit of a foundation for the next release. So the next release, at the moment, it's still kind of going through DAO approval, but a few months ago we did a bit of a roadmap review, and it was quite loud and clear that we need to prioritize RETH appeal, but also it's more around things like redemptions and minimum standards for node operators. So these things will use the execution layer exits. So what it'll enable the protocol to do is, if, for example, a node operator is severely underperforming, we can actually remove them from the protocol. So that's something that is kind of lined up for the next release. The other, and then what that does is it obviously improves the yield of rETH to make sure that it is it's already pretty good, but it makes sure that we're way up there with the top. We're way up there essentially. The other aspect is redemptions. So rETH holders being able to redeem rETH directly and exit validators if there's not enough withdrawal liquidity. So basically those two things will Saturn provides the foundation for that, but that's the kind of like the next thing. There's also kind of, as Mav said, there's the bonding curve as well. The bonding curve essentially means that I personally, I think we're going to have quite a lot of scale in the immediacy, but if we need to tap into that extra scale, then we can use the bonding curve to do that as well. So yeah, so lots of things. Saturn already helps us a situation immensely with particularly those more conservative and large depositors, but the future also provides a good basis for that as well.
And that's interesting. Yeah. So like I'm just thinking about like some of those future like methods of the way it works that you described there, like with a mini pool being like kicked out, for example. So would it be like the DAO kind of coming to that determination, and like how would that happen? Like, is that all being still worked out, or how? Because it seems like it's like, what is the entity that would do that? It's just kind of that would be a new capability, right? That does not exist in Rocketpool today, is my understanding. But it's
Yeah,
interesting to
it's
consider
definitely
that would be, yeah.
It's definitely still being worked out. The minimum standard may be quite simple because we can use like a balance state proof. So if you are under way under 32 ETH, then we can somebody can submit a balance proof and prove that you are, and so that is that's a way that it could probably happen. There is still a lot to work out though, because there are definitely edge cases and all that sort of thing that we need to take into account. And redemptions are definitely something that I think we've workshopped. We've done a workshop at the moment, and at the moment we've just come up with all the stuff that we don't know or we need to figure out in terms of redemptions. But yeah, that will be our focus going forward in the next few months.
Okay, and one question from the YouTube chat is, let me know if this makes sense. When making a mega pool with 4 ETH and getting through the Ethereum entry queue, do you need to wait in the entry queue again if you want to add more ETH to that mega pool?
Yes, because each deposit is queued. So yeah, so each 4 ETH deposit is actually queued.
Okay.
So it's not like so it doesn't actually use the 0x02, the what are they called, the max EB validators. So it uses the standard 0x01s, and the reason for that is because first of all, it was designed before max EB validators were kind of like live, so there was a kind of like a timing issue there. But second of all, 0x02 validators bring the whole manual sweeping thing and consolidations, and so there was a fair amount that we would have to consider and we were too far along essentially in the design process to design it. And I think that was a good call. We made the call quite early to just support 0x01 for now. we will review 0x02 to see if we can move to that. But that will be a future release that we can kind of like consider the whole design surface rather than having to kind of like cram it into Saturn. The other benefit of that Saturn brings, and also was actually because Saturn enables us to scale a lot harder. The deposit pool change that was made recently means that effectively we do have a cap, but it's an extremely large cap on the deposit pool. So what that means is that integrations, for example, have a bit more guarantee that we won't revert when they try to deposit. So that's actually a big thing that the community were kind of one of the reasons to increase the deposit pool limit to something quite high. I think it's 6 million at the moment. The idea there is to also promote more integrations with Rocketpool as well. We've already, there's also some fantastic integrations already. And we've got Rock Solid, who are providing the yield vault on top of Rocketpool as well for our ETH holders to kind of have this one-click DeFi integration. But yeah, it's more and more integrations because of that increased scale.
So at what level is the OX02 validator type part of the forced exit and redemption, or is that like entirely after those efforts? Like how much is that capability part of that design that will be coming? That's one of the questions from the YouTube.
So we still need to go through and do a bit of a design exercise. So it's still up in the air. I think in my head at the moment, we don't need 0x02 to do the exits. 0x01 is they also have execution layer exits as well. So we don't have to move to 0x02. And one of the key things that we want to try to do is deliver it quickly. Quickly, as quickly as we can deliver a decentralized liquid staking protocol. So it's very likely that we won't move to 0x02. I'm not throwing it out though, because we do need to do that design process.
Yeah.
We'll also have, I think, some incoming changes around. I think with some of the changes in Ethereum under the hood with ePBS and those changes, we'll need to adjust some things around that probably. So we need to kind of manage our scope so that we can make sure we cover that off and get these changes out.
Cool. Trying to monitor. I think we've got everything in the YouTube chat thrown out as questions so far. So if there's any others, keep them coming. And the trading channel is impossible to manage. I will confirm that because it's so active right now. But that's great. That's a great spot to be checking in on things here too, and the event watch as well. With our 8 or 9 minutes remaining here, let's see if there's any other things that you guys would. We did the raffle, we did the POAP. So if anybody, yeah, you should go back earlier in the stream recording to find the POAP if you missed that, because we typically would do that at the very end, but we kind of sprung it on you early, right before the launch. So that's out there already. Is there anything else that we would want to make sure to get to before, or any other call outs about the launch, or from anyone on the Zoom here?
I wouldn't mind just giving an absolutely massive thanks to the community. Obviously, the community and us devs work very closely together and have done since Rocketpool's inception. That's part of the reason why we've grown to where we are. We aren't it's a massive VC-backed entity. We're basically a bunch of diehard Ethereum geeks that make this stuff. So it is very much a from the heart kind of effort. So a huge thanks to the community because we work with these guys daily. Massive thanks to the team. It's been absolutely phenomenal effort from them. We are a small team. We aren't some 30 plus strong team. We're 7 or 8 of us doing this day in day out. Just trying to make sure that Ethereum stays healthy and has a really quality decentralized staking option, which there's no other rivals out there for decentralization in what we do essentially. So we are still leading the way, and we hope to continue doing so. It's crazy. In 6 months' time, the Rocketpool project will be 10 years old, which not a lot of people realize. Like that's crazy. Like where did that time go? So. So we'll be having a 10-year, kind of anniversary coming up. So, again, just a massive thanks to the community as well. Like, we can't do it without these guys. And like I said, we aren't VC backed, so we're just trying to do our best and trying to make sure Ethereum stays healthy. So, again, huge kudos and thanks to everyone involved. It's absolutely a phenomenal feat. Like, I don't think people realize the amount of technical aspects that go into an upgrade like this. It is really something when you actually dive down into the details. Again, repeating myself, but massive thanks to everyone involved. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
Awesome. It's amazing. 10 years of the project, and that there's a lot that goes into it over that amount of time. It's wild to consider. There's one question I think that I missed from earlier in here, and I think this might relate to like maybe back to the concept of the dynamic protocol revenue flows potentially, but maybe just broadly, someone's asking about like how does this change the treatment of RPL, the token itself, and whether there's like market dynamics that would change with it, the price itself, like how does the role of RPL evolve, maybe is a way of thinking of this. I don't know if anyone can speak to that in particular.
I'll try and throw in my 2 cents, Jonathan.
Sure.
Obviously, RPL has been pretty much a governance token. It originally started off as a token that would essentially make sure node operators behaved by slashing an RPL deposit, if they came back from staking with any huge amount of loss or anything like that. Since then, we launched on-chain protocol DAO, which is basically all node operators within the Rocketpool protocol. It's a governance system that allows them to create proposals, have them on-chain executed within the protocol, sort of like changing settings and stuff like that. So if you were staking RPL, it had primarily a governance feature then. Now it's trying to with tokenomics and the RPL fee switch, which gives a portion to something called a voter share, which is people that are staking RPL and voting in the protocol. It turns it into kind of an ETH yield-bearing asset in that regard now. So you will earn, you won't earn RPL on your RPL stack, you'll earn ETH instead, which is given from the Universal Adjustable Revenue Split, or URs, which is an aspect of the upgrade. So if you are interested in that kind of thing, you should look into the URs aspect, which goes over that in detail. It essentially now is a governance token and a yield-bearing, an ETH yield-bearing asset. So it's changed it in some pretty big ways actually, which not a lot of people are aware of. We have an RPL fee switch calculator on our website. So if you are interested in seeing what your potential yields could be on staking RPL, participating in governance and kind of accessing that yield-bearing aspect, you can kind of use that to get an idea of how much RPL you can stake and what kind of returns you might get based on the new tokenomics, which are in the upgrade on the website. So by all means, go there, have a look, and it'll probably answer a lot of your questions.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks. I think, is there anything else that we'd want to cover? I think this was great. Really cool to see this go through and watch it with you guys in this event, and everyone watching on the stream too. We've held around over 100 for most of this time, so that's pretty awesome. Lots of people tuned in, so it's exciting to see it happen as a community.
And also, Jonathan, huge thanks to you guys for hosting us too. We've done this a whole bunch of times through all our upgrades now, so we very much look forward to doing this again in Saturn 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to do it, and Saturn 2. Yeah, I don't know when we if there's a sense of timing when that's going to happen, but if it's any estimation, we'll kind of in the next year or so, we'll be ready to do it again. Awesome. Cool. Well, congrats everyone on the Rocketpool community, and thank you for tuning in. And book it for 3 months. Hey, that's a good target right there. Someone, Steve on the stream there. Um, we'll see what we can do. Cool. Well, if there's nothing else from anyone, we can call it there. So thanks a lot for joining everyone. And until next time, have a great time with Saturn 1.